Hello and welcome to ThomasGeigerCar. Today with the production version of the ID.7. We're slicing another slice from the PR salami and finally showing you the car in the full flesh. We've been driving the prototype just recently and this is it. Now you can see it for the first time undisguised. Almost 5 meters in length, 3 meters of wheelbase, sleek and slim design due to a perfect drag coefficient for more efficiency and more range. But before we come to the driving, let's just take one more look on size and shape of the vehicle, because this is quite impressive. 4 meters 97, that's the biggest MEB model and the longest Volkswagen overall. Somehow the electric cousin of the Volkswagen Passat, which will be continued and come into a new generation this year as well. The wheelbase has been stretched towards almost 3 meters, giving you lots of room in the interior and giving more space to a bigger battery. And all that is very slim and very sleek. Yes, it is a limousine, but with a coupe-styled back due to the drag coefficient. This is 0.23, very efficient, one of the most efficient Volkswagens except the XL1, the 1-liter car. And all that is due to the reduced drag coefficient, more efficiency, more range. And range is something we're going to figure out while driving. So come on, join me. Finally, we get to go in the real vehicle. Finally driving the electric flagship model of Volkswagen. Since the proof of the pudding is in the eating and the proof of the car is in the driving, this is the real thing. Still a prototype because we're half a year ahead of market launch towards the end of the year, but first hands-on getting a first impression of the vehicle. Talking about driving, the car is huge, and that is for 2 reasons. Almost 3 meters wheelbase gives enough room for the rear seat passengers, something we're gonna check out later, and makes room for a bigger battery. Up until now, 77 kilowatt hours was the maximum that was available on the MEB architecture. With the enlarged wheelbase, Volkswagen can put in an 85 kilowatt hours battery. Combined with the very low drag coefficient, that should equal for a range of up to 700 kilometers for the big battery. The 77 kilowatt hours battery will also be offered and will come to roughly 600 kilometers. Not only the battery has been increased, no, also the power is up for now. Up until now, 150 kilowatts, 204 horsepower has been the maximum power of the electric motors. For the first time, Volkswagen is installing a 210 kilowatt motor now, equals to 286 horsepower in the old currency, and giving you quite a progressive drive even with one motor in the rear only. Not sure if that's the end of the line. As far as we know, Volkswagen, there will be more options coming soon, so maybe an all-wheel drive, maybe something with way more than 400 horsepower on the horizon. But even that vehicle has enough power and enough torque to get the wheels spinning if you don't have the traction control and stability control engaged. But being a flagship model is not only about range and about power and about fun to drive. No, it's also about luxury, about ambience, and about the features in the car. And the most prominent feature is the bigger screen. Volkswagen has learned its lessons and has taken lots of beating for the other ID models with the small screen, with the not so perfect user interface, and they've done quite a bit to improve. They have installed a 15-inch screen as a standard. It comes together with the augmented reality head-up display, which is also standard in the vehicle. It comes with the small display here. It comes with the gear lever or the drive direction indicator still at the steering wheel column, at least not as in ID.3 up here sideways to the display. And it still comes with the slider for volume and temperature, but at least that slider is now lit up, so you can easily operate the car safely while it's dark outside. Some other features that shows this car is luxury, this car is top of the line, and somehow is in line with the famous Phaeton, the old flagship model of Volkswagen that should move the brand up into the upper class. Especially the air condition is something inspired by the Phaeton. Maybe you remember this car had hidden air vents, you couldn't see them. There was no air flowing through the car, or at least you couldn't feel the air flowing to the car. And here it's somehow similar. You can still see them, but they're beautiful executed. And they call it smart air vents with a very diffuse way of moving the air around in the car. So you really feel comfortable and you have a bit of that upper class feeling that you once had with the Phaeton. All that comes with a price. And even if that price is not defined yet, since we're still half a year ahead of the start of production and the start of sales, but there is a price target, and for Germany it is a little less than 60,000 euros. So still quite a bit of expensive. It is the range-topping model, but cheaper than the premium competition that you will have at Audi, Mercedes or at Tesla. As I mentioned, there is a little Phaeton feeling in the ID.7. A, because it's a flagship model, and B, because the car is so roomy. Yes, I know the Phaeton was even bigger, had more wheelbase, but since this car is based on an electric skateboard architecture, all the wheelbase is benefiting the passengers. So I have lots of room, and it's a full-fledged 5-seater. Very important for you in China, very important for the US market, and for families in Europe as well. And it's not only roomy for the passengers, there's also lots of room for the luggage. 523 liters of luggage capacity in this coupe-style sedan. And if that's not enough, you can also get a station wagon. Yes, the first show car of the ID.7 once was a station wagon. Volkswagen is known for the Passat variant, and this car as a station wagon will transport this idea in the future. So even more room in the electric vehicle to come. Thanks for joining me on that first prototype drive with the Volkswagen ID.7, a car we've been waiting for quite a long time, and a car Volkswagen has done a pretty good job with, because they've improved all the capabilities of the MEB architecture. We have more power with the motor. We have a bigger battery and a better range. We have better charging capabilities up to 200 kilowatts, and we have more room than in any other ID model except the ID Bus. Okay, the price went up as well. It's almost 60,000 euros in Germany as a starting price. Quite a lot for a Volkswagen, but pretty attractive for a car of 5 meters in length, because this car somehow hits a smart spot on the market. It has almost the size of a Mercedes EQE or a Neo ET7, but a way smaller price tag. There are countries where 7 is a lucky number, and I'm pretty convinced this car might be a lucky number for Volkswagen as well.